it's back up.
All right.
Do. That was weird.
We're back.
That was strange. Boy, I don't know what happened there. It just went off. Oh, well.
Yeah, weird. Take 2.
Your reputation is catching up with you. I was excited to hear about Hoggen.
Your feeble skills are no match for the power of the dark side.
Okay. There's Billy, who is actually Hagatha.
Trolls, and I'm thinking, you know what? I can troll better than trolls. So I came up with Hagatha. I also wanted to see, you guys know I am 50 years old. I'm from a different generation than this crazy one that's existing right now. I'm part of a group of people that kind of want to push back on that crazy new generation of ideas, and and I am gay. That is a true part of my story. I am a gay man.
No. You never have guessed.
Oh, thank you, Kristen. But I started out as it was a joke, and I wanted to see if I could fool trolls, and I did. But then I wanted to take it a step further. Daisy Duke says, I'm not even recognizing you. Anyway, are you going on Saturday? Yes.
So that's what Hagatha really looks like. Oh, D-Live stopped working?
It says hit refresh. Boogie says that.
Huh.
Yeah, that's the people watching.
Oh, it's working now. For me.
Oh, for people. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Renee
weird.
said, did the rapture happen?
That was weird. So that's what Hagatha really looks like. It's all a trolling operation. He does it to troll people.
Well, that makes me feel better. Then at least he's not really a weirdo that enjoys looking that way.
I thought you
Does
did.
that ease your mind, Grandma?
I thought it was shocking that he's gay.
Who would never have guessed?
I just was
Who'd
like, I
guessed?
was blown away.
What?
Are you kidding?
I mean, that was bigger news than somebody being arrested or anything.
I know. What?
Giggity goo ga!
Giggity gaga. Geschmoigity.
Gahoogity
You
schmoigen.
picked that up with remarkable ease, Grandma.
Giggity schmoigen.
Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla walla bing bang. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla walla bing bang.
Oh, I like that character a lot.
I do too. It takes talent.
Oh, God!
Oh, so that's Billy.
Oh, gahoogity schmoigen.
Wow. Hagatha.
Yeah, good old Hagatha.
Interesting.
Yeah, but he looks so much better.
I know.
Let's
I'm glad
get
that's
a,
not as natural. The Hagatha look is not as natural. I mean, I figured he was a parody, but it's just really funny when he does when he's making when he made the grilled cheese. I'm
Grilled
like, oh
cheese.
my.
I was going, oh dear Lord. That's your idea of cooking.
Yeah, not my cup of tea, I tell you. Who toasts their
No,
grilled
your
cheese before they
recipes
grill
have
it?
those strange cheeses in it.
That's right, the Fremunda.
Fremunda. Doc, are you looking for some Fremunda cheese?
Dying laughing. I was laughing so hard.
No, I was thinking of that strange, the other cheese that recipe you gave me that time.
The Cantal cheese.
Yes.
Yes. No, that was. But you know what's really funny is that I've nailed. In fact, it was the same recipe, and it's this it's potatoes dauphinoise, and it has Cantal cheese in it, and it's really it's so good and so easy. But so I was telling my friend, I wrote down the recipe, only I wrote down Fremunda cheese. And we had this lady in town who sells these cheeses from all over Europe, and she goes, "Oh, Fremunda, I'm gonna." And there are a bunch of friends around. She goes, "Oh, Fremunda cheese. Does the lady in town sell that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, make sure you go in there and ask her for Fremunda cheese." And the whole table was laughing because everybody knew it but her. And we. She goes, "Why is that so funny?"
Mean. Setting her up.
Why is that so funny? And I go, "Because it's Fremunda cheese from under my ass." And she's like, "You were going to make me go in there and ask?" And I go, "No, I would have told you before you went in."
Yeah, so you say.
I would not have let her gone in there. I'd like a pound of Fremunda cheese.
Fremunda cheese, Fremunda yes.
Oh, man.
That was funny. You got me good.
It was sort of a Rickroll, wasn't it?
It was. That was good. Good Lord.
Who's got the airliner going over?
Was
that you?
And he was like really seriously low over my house. I'm going, you're not fixing to land here, are you? Let me move out of the way first. You'd never believe an old fat lady could move that fast.
How close are you to the airport?
I am, as a crow flies, to DFW, probably, I don't know, 10, 15 miles maybe. But there's a flight pattern, but that one was going the opposite way. But there's a flight pattern that goes over the house, and several that we see running, off in the sky. But that one was going the opposite way of normal traffic pattern, and he was flying low. I hope he's not thinking he could do an emergency landing over at the local. There's a small airport over here, maybe 2 miles from my house, where they do small planes. It's like a municipal airport, and they do light planes and stuff like that out of it. But they've had a couple of planes that have had to land there in emergency landings. They had one land on the toll road one time, and thank God it was like in the middle of the night. Yeah, so there was no fatalities or anything, thank goodness. But that one was really weird. Going the opposite way than normal, and I think I could have saw the whites of the captain's eyes.
Oh, you better watch the news.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of news, Rusty, did you hear what Whitmer said in Michigan yesterday?
I heard something. Whitmer?
Now she's saying, if you are around somebody that's showing the symptoms of COVID, if you're around them for more than 15 minutes, you have to self-isolate for 14 days. So if you have so if you're around someone who has a sore throat or can't smell or has a stomach ache and diarrhea, you have to for 15 minutes or more, you have to self-isolate.
Are you sure that's not from listening to one of our speeches?
Yeah, no kidding. I was like, "Are you joking? What are you going to do? It's like call people every day?"
She's going to send the trackers after you like they're doing in New York. But were y'all not kind of finding it interesting that they did a complete flip-flop yesterday and now saying that they should start schools?
Yeah, I just wonder. I mean, you know what's really upsetting me is the whole hydroxychloroquine thing. Man, is that's
know.
really bugging me. And that Trump's not coming out and saying bullshit. You know, I'm sorry, but the Food and Drug Administration put it back in the emergency use. It's up.
What about the schools yesterday?
Now, Schumer and Cuomo and all of them are coming out saying that the kids need to go back to school.
Oh, now they need to go back to school. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to be back in school the 24th
of August.
Uh-huh.
Wow, y'all are beating us. Well, some of the districts are starting at their normal time, but some of them are starting September 4th.
But that's for now. It could change tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, our district is offering 3 different options. You can send your kids to school with a mask on. You can, but they got to stay in the lunch. They're in their room to eat lunch. They can't. I mean, it's just those kids. Only around those kids, you know, are you allowed to be. And then the other option is to do online, and you'll be, I guess, maybe on Zoom or something with the rest of the class. I'm not really sure. And then the third option is to do this like alternative education where you can just study at your own pace online. Yeah.
Why didn't they take these dramatic actions to stop the spread of corona back when Nancy was flaunting it about Chinatown?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Oh, I can't imagine why, Neil.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because it wasn't.
Isn't that how the Italians got it so bad? Is they were saying, well, don't be such a racist and hug a person from China?
Yes. That's the crazy thing. And what now they want all the prisoners out. It's like, hey, if these masks work so well, why do we need to, you know, isolate for 14 days or let the prisoners out? It's just
if the masks work, then why aren't all the people that don't wear masks, why aren't that we dead by now? It's been long enough. We should all be dead.
Well, here's a question. If you're wearing masks, why do you need to social distance? If you're social distancing, why do you need to wear masks? You don't need to do both to prevent the spread.
Exactly.
Well, and don't forget your trusty goggles. Now they're saying you need goggles.
Who was it that said that? I can't remember now.
Fauci.
Fauci, that was it. Yeah.
Fauci.
Yeah.
All I can say is bah.
Yeah, he can kiss my southern grits is what he can do.
That's what I did. I told somebody, it's like, man, I can't believe how many sheeple there are in this town.
I know. Well, you know, last weekend, I told you that Haley and I went out. I went to Kroger one day. I was the only person in the store that did not have a mask on. Then she and I went to Sam's and Walmart the next day, and we were the only people in the whole store that did not have a mask on.
Oh my gosh, she's on every freaking program there is.
Well, there was like 3 of us in Walmart who weren't wearing a mask. They didn't say anything to us.
One little guy asked me on the way into Walmart, "Do you have a mask?" And I just looked at him and went, "I sure do. I have one. I didn't have it with me, but I have one." And I just kept on trucking. I didn't even let him stop me. And Haley's going, "Mom, I think he was wanting you to stop." And I was going, well, you know, if wishes were nuts, you know, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
The cherry popper.
What's that?
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Yeah.
Oh.
But she thought we were really being very risque. It was quite an exercise in her learning to be an adult.
This is for Monica.
So.
But why are you farming for coins when you have a heavy bag?
I think that's Monica's favorite sound.
My problem is, you know, addressing Monica. What do you? I don't even know what you say to people. Like if I go into a store and I don't have a mask on, and they're like, "You're not wearing a mask," or they stare at you. What? I mean, all I want to say is like I can't wear one. And
do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
Tell them it's none of their freaking business. That's protected
that's what I
by
was gonna
HIPAA.
say.
Thank you for the ice cream, Monica. There's your picture of a hot dog.
I just want to say Nunya. Nunya. Oh, look at that quivering hot dog.
Yeah. Oh.
No, guys, sorry, go on. Alex.
You're not wearing the mask.
Like
You're not following the rules.
Is. I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
There's your picture of a hot dog, Monica. Thank you for the ice cream. You're not following the rules. You're not following the rules.
Totally Walter says he got yelled at driving a convertible and someone was on the sidewalk.
No.
Oh, dear God.
Not wearing a mask. He's in a convertible. Oh, my God.
Hey, did y'all see that tweet out today?
Totally Walter is very
gonna...
selfish. All he cares about is himself. He's not thinking of others. He's not following the rules.
The rules.
And
did y'all hear that Adbusters?
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead. Did you read that? They're going to lay siege to the White House on September 17th. Says,
I put a video in
for exactly 50 days. What do they think they're going to lay siege to? They're going to go in and take it over?
Well, they're saying peacefully. I guess there's going to be a few protests. It's the million. What is it? The million they're commemorating.
It says mass unrest. It says mass unrest. That's not peacefully protesting.
The organization that helped launch Occupy Wall Street has announced a...
Let's see. Oh, it's Tim Pool. Let's see what he says. It's going to be a second, though, because...
I don't know either, Monica. It's ridiculous.
If they deputize me, I'll stand with the law enforcement and protect the president.
White House siege. Tactical briefing. Ooh. This sounds interesting. It's a tactical briefing.
Yeah.
I think we've seen their tactical briefings when they shot each other for friendly fire a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that was no... what the hell is that name of that group?
Don't give a fuck or something like that.
Yeah. Not fucking around coalition. That's who they are.
Mm-hmm. The one that
new occupation, but they're calling it the White House. White House siege. They're saying that on September 17th, 2020, the anniversary of Occupy Wall Street, they will descend on the White House for 50 days, and they're going to shut it down. I don't know what they mean by siege. Hopefully, they keep it nonviolent. Somebody responded to them on Twitter saying nonviolent is the only way, and they said someone said it must be nonviolent, and someone else and they responded the only way, I believe. So hopefully that's the case.
Wait a minute. Who can hang out at the White House for 50 days and protest? Don't you have a fucking job? Holy cow. You don't have a house? You don't have
people that pay the professional protesters that are getting paid by George Soros and Antifa and people like that.
The people who work at Twitter.
That can afford to be sitting down there acting like that.
Yeah, how can you camp out for 50 days somewhere?
And
who gives them
peaceful protests?
Who gives them food and water and where does all that come
Bricks from? And rocks and laser pointers and.
But another group is also planning something called Shut Down DC. According to their Twitter account, they haven't set a date or location, but the plans are being made. Let's see exactly what Adbusters is calling for in the next month or so. They say, "All right, you activists. All right, all you activists. It's been 9 years since we set off the political earthquake of Occupy Wall Street, laying siege to NYC Zuccotti Park and inspiring thousands of similar protests around the world. The Occupy anniversary arrives September 17, 2020, And it may be the perfect day to trigger another global Big Bang moment, a massive collective action of the sweetest kind of disobedience. The why hardly needs recitation, because for these 9 years, the shadows have only grown longer. Inequality has soared. Not a single Wall Street CEO spent a night in jail for his role in the 2008 financial meltdown. Well, I mean, you had 8 years of Obama, so sure. Politicians and corporate criminals continue to savage the public trust with impunity. And all the while, this howling void of a president, his sins too many to name, sits smugly atop a corona death toll that may surpass 200,000 Americans by Christmas. It's time again for dramatic, decisive action, which is why on September 17th, in the original and enduring spirit of Occupy...
You could remove about 65% of those deaths and attribute that to governors directly.
Mm-hmm.
Cuomo, New Jersey, Michigan, California.
POTUS said that 50% of the deaths could be attributed to the old folks' home.
I think it's higher than that.
Actually, Whitmer vetoed a motion from our House and Senate to not have corona patients in the retirement homes or nursing homes.
Yeah, she just did that last week. That's sick.
Why, she cares about Michiganders.
She vetoed it. She said it was okay. They need to go back into the homes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thousands of our fellow citizens will stream into
last week.
Oh dear Lord!
Just
that woman needs to be held criminally liable for that.
Lafayette Square in Washington, D.C. We will lay siege to the White House, and we will sustain it for exactly 50 days. This is the White House siege. Okay, you know what my problem is with the far left? They've taken no victories, no wins with Donald Trump. They can't accept it. Their whole identity is based on the government being bad, even when Donald Trump does things they like. One of the big issues many people had at Occupy Wall Street was anger over free trade agreements, untethered or unaccountable illegal immigration. That's right. While many of these people down at Occupy were for amnesty, they didn't like the free trade, open borders policies that were being enacted by the likes of the Koch brothers. So along comes Bernie Sanders, who says no TPP, and they all go, yay, Bernie. And Bernie says, open borders is a Koch brothers proposal. And they go, yay, Bernie. And then Donald Trump comes around and says, no TPP, it's bad, China. No NAFTA, open borders, bad. And they go, boo, Trump. So what does that mean? How do you boo Trump saying the same things as Bernie? In fact, the media back in 2015 and 16 tried to point that out, that Bernie and Trump had a lot of similar policies because they were populists who were fighting for the American people. Well, Bernie Sanders sold out the working class, switched all his policy positions, took $1 million, and now he goes and resides in multiple homes. Donald Trump's net worth has dropped considerably, and he donates his presidential salary, but he's brought about an end to the TPP, an end to NAFTA, and secured our borders. So where are these people to be like, yay, we liked these things? Trump made some mistakes. Hiring John Bolton was a huge mistake. Well, he fired that guy, and that guy just proved to be a serious mistake. Donald Trump is now trying to withdraw our troops from Afghanistan. And these are things that I've always cared about. And I'm like, hey, okay, Donald Trump's doing his thing. What do we end up getting? You get a far left that says his sins are too great to bear. They blame him for COVID because it is fake. Adbusters, fake, lies. Where are you now to take victory for the things that Donald Trump has actually brought about? Instead, you seek to oppose him. So what? Joe Biden can get back in? All the protests these people had during the Obama administration, and you want to restore the Obama administration now? You are liars, hypocrites. You're full of it. None of the bankers got prosecuted, blah, blah, blah. Yes, in 2008, Barack Obama won the election. In 2009, he assumed office. And then in 2011, you kicked off Occupy Wall Street. During Obama, congratulations, I appreciate it, right? Now you're mad that nobody's faced justice over 2008. So what's your goal? Resist Donald Trump and get Joe Biden elected so you can bring back the people you were protesting? You're liars. Donald Trump has done more for what you've asked for than Barack Obama ever did, and Joe Biden is the Obama administration. Ah, I see, though. They're hoping Joe Biden begs and gives them whatever they want, which is more absurd far left policy, I suppose. Is that it? That you'll sacrifice the gains you got through Trump and the potential gains you might get and restore the establishment? For what? That doesn't make sense to me. Why would you want to bring back the guy, no matter what you think you might get from it, bring back the guy who's going to turn around and belittle you? It's because all they want to do is make money, in my opinion. It's all a game. They're grifting. Now, I'll tell you what, man. I love it when they call Republicans grifters, because Republicans are unabashed capitalists who seek to make money. Y'all are supposed to be the socialists who eschew such things and want to form organizations of cooperation, but instead you just manipulate people into going and doing these things so you can generate press for yourselves and then sell magazines or something. They say a siege only works if it's sustained. We witnessed this, the multiplying power of a strategic occupation. 9 years ago, you dig in, hold your ground, and the tension accumulates, amplifies, goes global. 50 days, September 17th to November 3rd. Let us once again summon the sweet revolutionary nonviolence that was our calling card in Zuccotti Park. I'm all for it, man. You want a nonviolent protest? Here, with my blessing. I love it. I really do. I mean it sincerely. Nonviolent, civil disobedience is an American pastime. It's how we make this country. It is a part of who we are. It is a part of that spirit. I'm sorry, though. As much as I'm all for peaceful protest, I think you guys are just lying. I think it's just fake. They don't actually, I don't know if they what they actually want, because helping restore Joe Biden makes literally no sense. White House siege will electrify the U.S. election season. And it doesn't stop there. Drawing wind from Me Too, BLM, Extinction Rebellion, and protests against Trump's lethal bungling of coronavirus will inspire a global movement of systemic change, a global spring. In the fall, a cultural heave towards a new world order. What? All right. What is our one demand? We want to collaborate with you, brainstorm tactics with you, spark a revolution with you. We need your voice of wisdom and expertise to pull off a radically democratic tone shift in our politics. If you would like to either contribute or just, drop us a line, here's our email, or submit your ideas to the form below. First, let's get our tactics in order. Then let's screw up our courage, stuff our backpacks with the tools of nonviolent revolution, and head to Lafayette Square with intelligence to match our spirits starting September 17th. I'll tell you what. Here's how I'll put it. If you're going to come out and protest to demand of the Trump administration, I suppose. The problem I see with all of this is that as much as I've never been a big fan of Trump's, presidency, as a comedian, entertainer, and TV guy and all that stuff, yeah, he's hilarious, right? I see him being infinitely better than Joe Biden, who is the Obama administration, who is the crony establishment. So the very least you can say to Donald Trump, here are the things we demand of you, because Trump is likely to win. I mean, most people think he will. Maybe he won't, but, people think he will. Trump will absolutely play populist and offer up real solutions to demands of people who requested of him. Within reason. I mean, you come in and demand a full communist government. That's obviously not going to happen. But you want to talk about healthcare and stuff, and he's going to say, sure. I mean, Trump's talking about it with executive orders because it's not really getting done. Although the left, for some reason, attacks the guy when Trump says things they like. This does not make sense to me. But it's not just ad busters. Hashtag Shutdown DC is also planning for action this fall. They say, we're getting ready for an election meltdown this fall. Are you? They go on to mention a bunch of stuff. They don't give any real specifics. They just complain about Donald Trump. And then they talk about their preparation. They say they're going to follow up, so there's a form here. They mentioned on Twitter they don't have any hard plans. They're starting to make plans now, but I highlight this just to show you it's more than one group. I think it's fair to say we are going to see a massive reaction of some sort or massive action of some sort in DC. And Trump better play this one right, because one of the things they're going to try and do is bait the president to make him look bad. But I'll tell you what. This may be one of the biggest mistakes the far left will be making of the year, of the election, of the decade. The rioting in Portland did not work. Now, they've stressed over and over again, peaceful, 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 nonviolent, they said. Nonviolent, okay? Nah, I'm sorry, man. There will be exploiters, agitators. They're going to come. And what's going to happen is, in the 50 days leading up to an election, you are going to scare the American people to no end with these mass protests and violence, which will invariably occur. Whether the police started or not, doesn't matter. The American people are going to say, I don't want this in my neighborhood. I don't want this in my country. They're already screaming at people. You do this, and you will create fodder for Donald Trump. So you know what? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe they know it, and maybe that's what they really want. Maybe they know Joe Biden is the crony establishment, and they know they can play the boogeyman to help Donald Trump get reelected. Sure, I guess, but I really don't think so. I think they're just inept, and they're lying, and they're grifting. And in the end, what's going to happen is a bunch of people are going to show up. They're going to act the fool. Trump's going to clear it out with the police. And the American people are going to say, good. We need a president who will uphold law and order and shut down the insanity. Anyway, we'll see how this plays out. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. on this channel.
It's going to turn into a shit show is what it's going to happen. It's going to be a disaster.
And they don't think the feds are going to be ready for them, right?
The problem is you're going to be overwhelmed with thousands if they show up. You know, you're going to get Antifa there. There's no doubt.
That's when you bring in the military.
Look what they did during the inauguration when they smashed windows and destroyed vehicles, and they absolutely got away with it, too.
I don't think they will this time, though. Do you?
Nope.
The police might be overwhelmed depending on how many show up. And the D.C. mayor is useless as tits on a boar. That D.C. mayor, do you think that D.C. mayor is going to send D.C. police in to stop it?
No, but remember, POTUS brought in the National Guard? Or was it military around the perimeter of the White House when they were trying to compromise the White House?
He can use them to protect federal property, but he can't have them all over downtown D.C.
No, but I'm saying if they try to lay siege to the White House, he sure can.
Yeah, that is a direct threat to the government. And I think he should use every power necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I just hope it doesn't fall into, where they're trying to get somebody killed so that it, looks bad.
They are. They'd love it. They'd sacrifice one blow in a heartbeat.
Oh, poor Neil.
I'm going to say goodnight, guys, because it's about 4:30 in the morning here now. So, I don't think my body can hold out anymore after the long day today. But it's been a pleasure as always. Great talking to awesome people, awesome patriots. And I will see you guys next week, hopefully.
Neil, before you go, as always, where can people follow you and watch your shows?
They can get me on Twitter, UK Neil 1979, and at the moment the Great Awakening show on DLive and Twitch. Very sporadic with times at the moment. Just keep an eye out for normally the day I do a show, I'll put an update times of the show, which normally always about 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. US Eastern. So just keep an eye out on Twitter when I post up because of the work schedule. It's so hard to lock down specific times for the show, but it'll be a Great Awakening show on DLive and Twitch, and you can catch me at Twitter, UK Neil 1979. So guys, have an awesome night, and I will speak to you soon. Have a good one.
You too, Neil.
Bye, Neil.
Thank
Good
you.
night, Neil. Night.
I
love him. He's such a sweetheart. He is. Great guy. I like his perspective. It's nice to have a perspective from somebody across the pond, Mm-hmm.
This yacht is bringing a revolutionary scientific invention to Gotham City. Millionaire Bruce Wayne and his youthful ward Dick Grayson receive an anonymous message for help. The yacht and its contents are in grave danger. With characteristic speed and agility, they descend to the Batcave to become the dynamic duo Batman and Robin.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Batmobile to airport. Red alert. Prepare Batcopter for immediate takeoff.
They will attempt to board the yacht, but there's something fishy going on here.
Tiger up. Holy sardine!
A decoy. A strange, anonymous warning that Commodore Schmidlap is in danger. To lure me into a trap.
Fiendish attempt on Batman's life. You mean, while they were luring you to a watery grave, the Commodore's yacht was being hijacked someplace else?
Precisely.
The only ones who could be responsible for this fiendish plot are four of the most vile, loathsome, revolting bad guys in Batman's life. These are the Pickies. The Penguin, that pompous, waddling master of foul play. The Joker, devilish clown king of crime. The Riddler, that puzzling prince of puns. And the Catwoman, fiery feline of felonies. Together, they plot to kill Batman and Robin and take over the world.
Commodore Schmidlap's invention in our hands, the whole world almost literally in our grasp. Batman and Robin still alive to block us.
Holy nightmare.
Holy heart failure.
Holy heartbreak. Holy almost.
Holy bikini. That was close.
Starring Adam West, Burt Ward, Lee Merriweather, Cesar Romero, Burgess Meredith, and Frank Gorshin. Grab your batarangs, tune up your bat cycle, and join the Cape Crusaders in Batman.
That gave me a chance to fix the boxes.
The stories they told about behind the scenes of that Batman. You wouldn't believe it.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, I think it was Brett Ward said, they were kind of promiscuous quite a bit.
Really?
Just trying to keep it clean.
I was watching the thing on Bewitched, behind the scenes of Bewitched, and they were the only show that whenever you see them drinking back in the 60s when it was on, they used they didn't care if actors showed up drunk or would get drunk on the set while they're acting. And they were the only show that when you see them with drinks in their hands, it was real alcohol.
Oh, I gotta look for that now.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Well,
Interesting.
there's a scene in Batman where they did not cut it out, where Batman was ahead of Batgirl, and he put his arm out to stop him, like they were sneaking upon a criminal, and he touched her boob, and it's still in the show.
Oh my goodness.
They did not censor that. Now you consider back in '66.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys watch that stuff? I remember watching that as a kid.
I didn't watch Batman.
Were you more of a Gilligan's Island or Gilligan's Island, or were you?
I did not like Gilligan's Island. It was stupid.
What?
Gilligan's Island was great.
Well,
Brady Bunch? Were you a Brady Bunch person?
I like them okay, but I got tired of them being whiny. I had low tolerance for that kind of thing, but I liked, let me think. Growing up, what did I watch? Name some more.
Lost in Space.
Yes.
I did like Lost in Space. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Mr. Smith.
Doc used to watch Our Gang when she was young.
I watched what?
Our Gang.
Did you?
The original episodes.
What's that?
Little Rascals?
No.
Shirley Temple. You watched Shirley Temple.
Oh, you were.
When it first came
That's
out.
right. You were in the Little Rascals.
Didn't watch Shirley. Never cared for the Three Stooges too much because they were too dumb.
Oh my God, my brother, that's all he watched. It was more fun watching my brother mimic them. We had I'm not kidding. We had a long hallway that went from one end of the house to the other, and I'll never forget. He went whoop 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 whoop, did the thing with on his face, and he ran the whole length of their house from one end to the other and slammed into the door with his head, and it knocked him out.
Oh no!
Oh my God, we laughed so hard. It's like, did you really think you were gonna? I mean, it was. What an idiot!
I know. Scott said Speed Racer.
Speed Racer.
I watched.
That was a little after my time.
Family
Speed
Affair.
Racer was great.
Johnny Quest. I like Johnny Quest.
Oh, Johnny Quest. Yeah.
The original.
Yeah. The Rifleman.
Yeah, I like The Untouchables. I always watch that on Saturday nights. Daddy'd be shining his shoes for church on Sunday, and Mom would be rolling. We had real long hair, and Mom would be rolling it up for Sunday church, on rollers where you couldn't sleep on Saturday nights.
Oh, we watched we watched Carol Burnett and Red Skull.
Yes, love both of them.
Yep.
I think Carol Burnett is right up there with Lucy.
Yep, for sure.
We always loved Lucy too.
Yep, those are.
My mom was a fan of Lucy.
Big Valley. Do you remember Big Valley? And Gunsmoke.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the other one? The Virginian? No, was it Virginia? It had Pernell Roberts in it.
I didn't watch that.
No, it was the woman. And her. Oh gosh, I can see it plain as day. She had the daughter and I think 2 or 3 sons, and it was a woman. She was a widower. Big Valley.
Oh, Linda Evans.
Oh, okay.
And the mother was the little petite, silver-haired woman.
See, I don't remember it too well. I wasn't big into Bonanza or any of the westerns.
We had
Petticoat Junction.
Petticoat Junction, yes, and Green Acres. Loved them. Mork and Mindy.
I
like Mork and Mindy. No, I mean I was older, but I was just
gonna say.
Seriously, I thought he was so funny.
He was funny.
I bought that part of the series for Haley whenever she was young because I wanted to see it.
Did she like it?
She thought it was
Yes,
funny.
Barbara Stanwyck.
Barbara Stanwyck, yes.
Wow.
She was in Big Valley. She's the mama.
So
And
I watched. We get these
go ahead,
all
Bill.
on family TV.
Mr.
Yeah,
Ed.
we see it on TV Land, I think, down here.
Mr. Ed.
Oh, yes.
I love
Haven't seen that in a long time.
Clint Eastwood was on Mr. Ed for an episode.
Yeah,
Really?
Monday.
It was?
Yeah, oh yeah, Clint
I
Eastwood.
didn't remember that.
Yes, he was. He
Wow.
played he played himself as a guy who was, as Clint Eastwood was staying in, renting in the house at the house next door or something.
My favorite Martian.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Outer Limits.
Oh, yes.
Even the updated versions of the Outer Limits are good.
I'd catch Donna Reed just because Donna Reed was smoking hot.
Leave It to Beaver. The Munsters.
Yes, the Munsters.
And there was another one right before the Munsters. What was it?
Addams Family.
Was it?
Oh, yes.
Yep. It was
Do you guys
black and
remember
white.
Dark Shadows?
Yes, we love Dark Shadows.
I actually
They're
like the
vampires.
updated version, but it didn't last long.
I remember rushing off the bus so I could get home
Who
and watch
said
Dark
Debbie
Shadows.
Does Dallas?
Scott.
Oh, good Lord.
the cherry popper.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Gomer Pyle, yes. We used to watch Gomer Pyle all the time.
Good shows.
And I really hate to admit this. I mean, back in school, I'd rush home to watch General Hospital just because of the plot of the weather machine. I thought that was the best plot.
Luke and Laura.
Those
Luke and Laura getting married?
Yeah, that was my college days, though.
I was never as much into that as we watched Young and Restless at 11, and then Granny and them would watch As the World Turns, but I didn't like that because we used to watch that when we came in from home for lunch. And so we would watch All My Kids. That's what we called it, All My Children, you know. And then there was one more after that we liked, but we didn't ever get to really watch it much.
I remember everybody on our floor would make their schedule around General Hospital, 3:00 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure you did not have a class, and the whole darn floor of our dorm would sit in the common room and watch General Hospital.
I remember a time where we would go out dancing at the discotheques, and our whole group would go back to my apartment to watch Saturday Night Live, and then we'd go back out and finish, for the rest of the evening.
That's when Saturday Night Live was good.
Yeah.
With Belushi and Aykroyd, yeah.
Belushi, Aykroyd, Steve Martin, all them.
Yep.
They were all good.
Kind of an underrated show, and I didn't like it at the time, is SCTV.
I don't know that one.
You don't know that? It's the Canadian version.
SCTV?
Yeah. It's the Canadian version of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, I meant to tell you a while ago. Boy, something's going on. Because when we were watching that video a while ago, I had myself muted, and there was a big old huge helicopter come over with searchlights.
Oh, and I wonder if it was the plane.
There's another helicopter going on the other side of my house. It didn't have searchlights though.
Well, maybe that plane that was flying low.
I don't know.
You better turn on your news.
I wouldn't even know what channel it would be. Isn't that pitiful? David's already gone to bed.
Well, it is.
Tomorrow. Cindy will tell me about it. Did y'all know? I think I was telling them on Q-tips last night. Just north. Okay, I live in a suburb north of Dallas, and kind of north and east of us is a really well-known, very nice bedroom community suburb called McKinney. It's an up-and-coming, very nice, old historic district town. Just very, very nice to live in, and great education system. Just really, really good place. Last place in the world you would think this would happen, but Antifa and Black Lives Matter got together and marched on them with AK-47s and AR-15s slung on over their chest.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was a bad scene.
What happened?
Well, I didn't get the rest of the story. My sister just told me that because I don't watch local news, because all you hear is about people dying and burning up their houses and stuff like that. So I gave up local news a long time ago. But my sister was telling me, and then we got interrupted, so I didn't get the rest of the story about what happened. But she said that they were covering it on several of the local morning shows around here. So, but that is one of the last places you'd see it. Just like, when they were discovering the piles of bricks in some of the suburbs around here? That was one of those piles they discovered was just about 2 miles from my house.
Oh my gosh.
As a crow flies.
What would you have done if you'd have seen them?
If I'd seen them what?
The piles of bricks. What would you have done?
I'd have called the police immediately. And I'd probably knowing me, I would have probably pulled around into a parking lot and filmed it until they got there. And I knew they were going to do something about it. Otherwise, if I had to, I guess I'd go drive up on it if nobody ever came to help me. I'd drive up by it and honk my horn until they brought the police to stop me.
Make yourself a new chimney.
Oh, there you go. You could build a new patio.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Hell, I could just load it
brick.
up.
There you go.
I'll load it up and take it home. Say, honey, your honey-to-do list just got longer.
I got you the materials. Now get to work.
It was a bunch. It was a bunch, and I would have probably just driven up next to it, parked, and just laid on my horn till somebody called the police and up they'd come. But they got a bunch of they found out later, or they said that was there for a building project that they were going to do, but there wasn't any on public record because I checked. Somebody posted about it, and I went and checked myself, and there was no housing additions being built around it or anything. It was under the overpass. I saw it. So I don't know.
That's just scary. I mean, it's just
weird.
Yeah.
Well, apparently
But
we have Black Lives Matter here.
Aren't you lucky?
It's probably roughly less than a mile.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Well, I'm
Have
letting
you got
people
protection?
know.
Have you got protection? Have you got a game plan?
Yep.
I was telling Cindy, I think we need to call a neighborhood meeting because did y'all see that one neighborhood that they were trying to march through and go through? And I guess the neighborhood had forewarning because they all parked where they couldn't get in.
Yeah.
And had, all that stuff. And they had them back whenever I don't know, about a month ago, but they had some new ones come out this last week or so. And I was going, you know what, I think we need to have a neighborhood plan about how we would seal off our entryways and decide where to post people. You know what I'm saying? Not wait.
Is your neighborhood all pretty much Trump supporter or like anti-Antifa?
I don't know. Nobody ever puts anything. The only signs I've seen is when Beto was still in the running, back when, there was 2 houses I know of that had Beto signs because I look at them every time I drive by. I'd love to go put some reading material in their mailbox, but that's against the law. But then the other day, I was telling Cindy this week, I was going, Cindy, did you see that house at the end of the block? My house is on a U-shaped street that wraps around my sister's cul-de-sac. And so at the end of our driveway, because we all have back entry, you park in your garage entry is in the back of the house. So you go through your alleys. And I was going, at the end of the alley, if you turn right, did y'all see there is a house that actually has a Biden? They're the only ones that have any sign, and it's a Biden sign. I was going, I'd be embarrassed to even admit that I supported that doofus. I mean, I think we ought to all go stand out in front of their house and laugh at them. Make fun of them.
I saw my first Biden sign today, and it was like an old teacher of mine, and he's like a freak. He's a freakishly weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to be insane to put a sign out that says Biden on it. I think
it's pretty doggone ballsy to do it in our neighborhood because majority of people around here are conservative. Just saying.
Well,
but
that's
you know
why
what? It's always like they have a deaf ear. They think it's fine to do that, but if you did it, when I had a sign out in my front yard that came and broke my sign. So I was going, you shitheads. And so I just glued it back together and put it back out there. And they broke it again. They broke it again. And they really smashed it the second time. So I went and got me another one, but I was smarter than the average bear. I just put it in my window, in my front window, behind the glass, so they couldn't do anything to it.
Good for you.
Well, these BLMers don't look around too well, because there's Trump signs all over the place around here. They're surrounded.
It's surprising. We have no signs around here. Nobody has any.
There's not really any around us either. It's the silent majority. That's why I'm glad I'm going to be on that, Republican ticket, because I think people are just going to push the lever. The red lever is just going to go click.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah, I really think that's the way it's going to be. But we'll see. Go ahead.
Well, continue. Sorry.
No, I was done.
Oh. Well, I was having a conversation today with someone, and obviously arguing about Trump, and he goes, well, the wall was what he said. There was that hurricane took down part of the wall in Texas. I go, what are you talking about? Well, didn't you see it? No. It's like, what are you talking about? There's only been one hurricane that's come around here, and it just clipped Florida. Oh, it was down in Texas. I go, well, bring it to me. Show me.
Yeah.
You got to prove that.
You never hear. They never come back when you say prove it.
You know what the story was on that, don't you, Rusty Wood?
What?
It wasn't that the wall blew down. What it was that they had some temporary fencing leaning against something, and they had a straight line wind that came through and blew it down. And of course, the media came in and trying to make it act like Trump's wall is a disaster as usual.
But this was a while ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah.
I saw a story about it, not just last week or two.
Oh, okay.
I saw another story about it. I don't know if they were revisiting it. I don't know.
Probably. I mean, because they like to
hurricane.
Do what? Boo?
It's not. They're so now picking and choosing stuff. It's so wild. I did a thing. I don't know whether you saw it or not, Denise, but on Facebook I had a friend who's like a staunch Democrat. In fact, I just found out that his wife works for, I think she works for the NIH. She works for Michigan State University and the National Institute of Health, and I'm not really sure what, because she's a veterinarian and she's some high muckety muck. He's a veterinarian, and I knew I was going to get him. I knew I was going to get him going because he's constantly commenting on people's stuff. He's staunchly Democrat, and instead of just keeping his mouth shut, he likes to try to make people look bad. Well, I had posted and just a little comment on his comment on Facebook, which was like, there aren't enough factual studies, and I just wrote, how many studies do you need? And I posted, there's a thing that they did, I don't know, a couple weeks ago that had like 65 different studies, and it talked about hydroxychloroquine and how it works when you gave it to patients in the late stages and when you gave it to them in the early stages. And obviously it works a lot better if you use it as a prophylactic and if you use it early. And these studies showed this. And I said, how many studies do you need? And I posted this. And then he posted one little article that said, it doesn't work. And it was some stupid news story. And I went through this thread and just creamed him. And I don't know whether you saw that or not, but I just creamed him with all this stuff. Like, you're not so naive as to think that our FDA and our government isn't corrupt. And I just hammered him with all these facts. And I never heard a word from him. It's just
your cat got you done?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
I know.
And,
My
and I love
secretary
him to
said that,
pieces.
and I sent her a study that she was going, well, it's not effective unless you get it early, unless you use it early. And I said, well, you know what? The odds. I sent her a study that was where they showed that it was still, even in late stages, 61% effective. That's over half.
Yeah.
At least it gives you a fighting chance. Once they dent you, that reduces your chance of living right there by 40%.
Which is better than remdesivir, which improves 31%.
Exactly.
And the whole thing
and plasma. Plasma is only 50%.
Well, the whole thing is, I mean, we all know this, that if they give this an emergency use, if the FDA gives it an emergency use, and it proves to be prophylactic or effective treatment, they can't have any other drugs that come into the scene. So they can't have a vaccine and they can't have remdesivir. So that's why they removed it, from the emergency use thing. Because remdesivir, is a Tony Fauci thing. I mean, that's his baby. He's got 8 people on his advisory panel.
And isn't it Bill Gates too?
Well, he's got Moderna, which is trying to develop a vaccine, and then there's another thing. So you've got Moderna, another one, and then there's 8 people from Gilead Sciences, which develop remdesivir, that are on his advisory panel for COVID. 8 people from Gilead.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
And it's like, so if they have this little caveat, I mean, Trump needs to go in and say, screw that. I'm telling you, if they started giving people hydroxychloroquine, plus there's another budesonide.
Well, I've told you, I think he is got plans. I think that deal with Kodak so that they can make generics and bring the base compound for most of the pharmaceuticals to be made there. I'm kind of hoping that X22 report is right and that they are going to be making a generic hydrochloroquine there so that all these, military posts that he's got ready to distribute a vaccine will really distribute hydrochloroquine generic to the masses as a prophylactic. I'm really hoping he's right. I don't know that he will be, but I hope there's a chance.
Well, then there are some people that have, I mean, as with all drugs, things happen where people are allergic or they have bad reactions or whatever, but there's another drug called budesonide, and you put it in a nebulizer, and I guess I don't know, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a Texas physician who said, I've had 100% effectiveness with this. And so it's like there are other things out there, and I don't know whether you saw that other thing about hydroxychloroquine, where they did this study, and there was a doctor who the study said it was not effective at all, and he started looking at it and he said, "Oh my God, it's unbelievable! It in terms of lung cancer, if you give people hydroxychloroquine and you expose them to the COVID virus goes in and kills the lung cancer cells or any kind of virus."
Yes,
somehow
it protects the good cells and attacks the cancer.
Yeah,
I saw that. Incredible.
Like, oh my
what's
God.
funny is when Phil and I covered the hydrochloroquine the very first time that there was any article that I'd ever seen on it. And I said then, I think this is going to be a silver bullet. And because I had read, when I started researching it immediately upon reading that, they had said that it's also effective for the glioblastoma, that real aggressive brain cancer. And we read that it's also been very effective in the treatment of autism.
Well, the other one is chlorine dioxide. That stuff is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And that stuff you can buy online.
Yep, you can. And somebody I read was an article you posted. Can't remember.
Probably, because I've been all over this, all these different.
I have read so much. I'm telling you, you have really covered it well. I have been so excited. But they said that if you will go get the Schweppes tonic water, it's got the quinine in it, and that will help you tremendously being protected.
Well, now Schweppes, yeah, the tonic water, any kind of tonic water. But the other thing that Dr. Zev talked about is quercetin and zinc. And the quercetin acts, and you can buy this. In fact, I just bought some the other day.
Quercetin?
Starts with a Q, Quercetin or something like that. I'll look real quick.
Okay.
And you then you get zinc, and hang on, I'll go look. This is from Zev Zelenko, who's the same guy who came up with the therapy of hydroxychloroquine, the zinc, and the Z-Pak. He's the guy who came up with that protocol. And because they're taking away our ability to get a hold of any hydroxychloroquine, he suggested it's Quercetin, and it is 500 milligrams. And then you get 25 milligrams of elemental zinc, pure zinc. I got this stuff called zinc chelate, or chelate, however you pronounce it. And you take one of those a day. He suggested you take the zinc. I don't know about you, but zinc kind of upsets my stomach. He said eat it with food, or take it with food. And it's supposed to be work as a prophylactic as well. And, so we'll see. I mean, I haven't gotten anything. But it, again, over the counter. I've just been trying to figure out ways to make people so they don't freak out over this stupid infection,
Yeah.
The biggest, especially my mom, she's 90, so I got her some too.
So that's supposed to help the coof, right?
It's supposed to make it so it's basically, you're immune to this stuff. Or it'll kill it if it enters your body. It's not an allergy med. No, Monica. It's just quercetin. It's supposed to help your heart. It's supposed to help your immune system.
That would really help my mind.
Do it, because then also, my mom's a little bit freaked out about taking, prescription drugs. I mean, she would have done it, but you buy something that's over the counter. She's like, oh, okay, why didn't I take this years ago? I'm like, I didn't hear of it before now. So she's taking it every day. She's not terribly afraid. I mean, she's like, I'm 90. Something's going to take me out here anytime. But she's got a really funny attitude about the whole thing. I'm going to live my life. I'm not letting this crap get to me. That's for sure. But she said, if I can,
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah. Oh, also today, we attended the funeral of a guy who had served in the 82nd Airborne. He dropped in. He crash landed on D-Day on Saint Igles, which was behind the enemy lines. And then he was on Operation Market Garden. He was in the Bulge. he liberated a camp, and he actually got to stand at the chancellery at Hitler's desk. I mean, this guy
Wow.
it was pretty amazing. And they sent up 4 guys from Fort Bragg to do a flag folding ceremony. And it was, my eyes leaked a little bit, I'll tell you. It was pretty touching. It was pretty amazing.
I would have been bawling my head off.
It was pretty amazing. It was like, and this guy's he had so many different, they gave him the government of France gave him the French Cross or whatever, one of those, an award from France. He was like a celebrity. He'd go down to Fort Bragg and they'd, drive him around in a Jeep. He was a great guy too. And he talked about, what he did over there all the time, because and it wasn't always pleasant. And he was like, I'm like, why do you talk about, there's so many people have a rough time talking about what happened over there. And he goes, war is hell. And I don't want anybody to think it's a glorified thing. It's horrible. And nobody should want to rush into it. So, yep. So nice, neat guy, really cool guy. And he was 95. Yep. Wow. Chlorine dioxide. It sounds like what? I didn't see that. Chlorine dioxide. Chlorine dioxide, Renee. Chlorine dioxide has so many uses. The FDA has approved it. It's likely that your municipal water, whatever you call it, the supply, that they actually treat your water with chlorine dioxide gas to kill 99.9% of bacteria and viruses in your water. It's FDA approved to do that. FDA has also approved it to kill the same. It kills, you name it. If it's a virus or a bacteria, it kills it. If you guys look,
very effective.
It's unbelievable. And the media has also done a job on chlorine dioxide. They do not want you to know about it. If you look up mmstestimonials.co, you will see all of the amazing stuff this crap cures. I'm talking polio. I'm talking AIDS. I'm talking hepatitis. I'm talking, you name it, it kills it. Yep. And it's mostly the way it works in your body. You drink a little bit of it. You'll drink like 3 drops of this stuff. You drink it you mix it with water, and you drink it every hour for 8 hours for 3 weeks. And what it does is it kills the pathogens, the bad pathogens in your body, so that your immune system can take a hold. Okay. And then after you do this 3-week thing, you take a little booster shot a couple times a week. And I don't have a problem with it. My mom could not take it. She really they have this thing it's called a Herxheimer effect. And I think she's allergic to it too. But if you have too many toxins, if you have so many pathogens, it will produce all these toxins, and the toxins can make you have a reaction of like headaches. I had a headache. I was really tired, and it also causes diarrhea and sometimes nausea. So when that happens, you back off on it a little bit. I'm talking like drops. You take a drop of this stuff in your water. And people say, oh, you're drinking bleach. Well, then in that case, so again, it's chlorine dioxide, which is,
so they're putting it in your water and you're drinking it that way either way.
Right. So chlorine dioxide is 1 atom of chlorine and 2 atoms of oxygen. So, it changes it's not bleach. Okay. I think it bleaches CLNA. I don't know. That's salt. Chlorine is in a lot of different makeups of, like, you got salt, you've got bleach, you've got all these things, but chlorine is in a lot of stuff, and it's so effective. But it's sort of like if somebody says, "Oh, you're drinking bleach," well, then you know what? H2O is 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen. Do people say, "Oh my God, you're drinking hydrogen"? No, it changes the chemical makeup when you add, the oxygen to it. So
well, we have so we don't get it.
Right.
And you can buy this over the counter.
Not chlorine dioxide. You gotta order it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you gotta order it. Yeah. And you gotta, where can I put this so that you guys can see it? If you guys go into, I don't know whether you're all on the Speakeasy show thing. I'll put a link in there where you can go buy it. But you really need to read up on it. It's you really need, because there's protocols for different things. You need to read up on it, because it's really interesting, and it helped me. And I really think if you've got an immune system problem, I think it would really help with you there too. It just clears up stuff. I'm telling you, if you go, yes, it's 2-part, A and B. That's right, Renee. A and B. You add, the first part is sodium chloride is the first part. That's A. And then you add, and that's like a 22% solution of sodium chloride. And then part B is a 4 or 5% solution of either a 4 or 5% solution of what's the acid? Hydrochloric acid, or a 50% solution of citric acid. It needs acid. When you put it together, it forms the chlorine dioxide. And YouTube and every social media, Google, you cannot find how to make, because you can make the stuff yourself. It's not bleach. Sorry, it's not bleach. It is in city water, Monica. Absolutely. If you can look it up. You can find studies everywhere. FDA has approved it for food decontamination, for water it's this amazing element, basically.
Yeah, if you research it, it really is amazing. Fritz, he was asking what about everybody else? Can you tweet it or something?
I can.
Or you can put it in the MAGA room. I think most everybody's in the MAGA room.
Okay, I'll put it in the MAGA room. Teddy Spaghetti. Don't take it. Nobody's going to force you. All right? How about that? Pretty easy.
But if you research it, I think you might find it very interesting.
Yeah, I could put all kinds of research in there as well. Again, look up mmstestimonials.co. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll definitely help the heart. That is one thing my mind does need.
Well, now there's certain things, does she have COPD?
Yes.
So the way it works, Rusty, I'm not sure it'll help her heart, but what it will help is her blood, because it oxygenates, because it has 1 chlorine atom and 2 oxygen. So it actually improves blood. So it may help that way, but I can't say that it's gonna, if you look up mmstestimonials.co, you'll see everything that it does, and there's testimonies in there on how it's helped people. But is she on any kind of blood thinners or anything like that?
No.
Okay, all right. Because people who are on blood thinners, you got to really watch your INR because it does improve your blood so much that it that you really got to make sure that if you're on warfarin or anything like that, you really need to check that a lot because it, your blood will thin out if you're on this stuff. So
yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah.
Thanks for the information. It's really good.
Yeah, I know, Monica. You do taste it. I'm not gonna lie to you. You taste a little bit of that taste. But I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Put sugar in it. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You can drink it with more. You can dilute it more. You'll have to pee a lot more, but you can dilute it more if you want to go that route. You don't have to drink it. You could put it 1 drop in a whole container, or a whole 16-ounce thing, but that's going to be a lot of water. That's going to be a lot of water. Yikes.
Well, when this thing came all about, I went to the liquor store, bought me about a Jaeger. Somebody says, "What are you buying that for?" I says, "I'm going to fight off the coof."
There you go. Yeah.
It's an internal fight.
Hey, one way or another, you can kill it.
No kidding.
Or you won't care.
I recommended malted barley and hops to kill the coof.
There you go.
They're also my attorneys.
Your what?
They're also my attorneys, malted barley and hops.
Are they part of the scientific panel?
Yeah.
Are they competitors with Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe?
Well, guys, I think we're gonna call it here.
Yeah.
It's 12 after midnight here. And I got up at 5 o'clock, so I'm almost on 24 hours.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah, I had a big job for the local school district because they're opening now, so they decided they needed some shit fixed right away. So I got out there at 6 o'clock in the morning this morning to make sure it was all done for Monday morning.
Wow.
Do you have any other big jobs like that?
Yeah, I'm starting to get a lot of, I got the town is starting to bring stuff to me too.
That's good.
Good word of mouth.
Yep. Town of Paris brought me a couple things. So
nice.
Well,
nice.
I guess we should be saying our goodnights then.
All right.
Yes. We'll start out with Rusty.
Thanks everybody for joining. Have a great rest of the weekend and be careful out there and be happy.
Don't worry, be happy. Yeah, well, and I want to say goodnight to everybody and thank you all for coming, and remember to pray for the president and to pray for, you know what? Here's another thing. Pray for the evil people, that God can somehow pierce their evil and bring them to him, because that would be the ultimate victory. We still want justice, that's for sure.
Legalize weed.
But his ultimate victory is to bring their souls to him.
Save them.
And to save them. Okay? And remember to take it easy, take it slow, and tell them Grandma told you so.
All
and
right.
legalize weed.
Legalize weed.
Doc Martin.
Good night, everybody. So glad y'all joined us for another fun Saturday night. We hope we see you again next week. Don't forget, keep your eyes peeled for us on Scopes and on Twitter and all the different platforms. Be sure and say hello when you see us. And we'll keep the porch light on for you so you can find your way back next week. So come back and see us.
That's right, and
Night, Yankee.
you can catch me on Tuesday and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, where I am going to continue my training in the dark side, being
Your
black
feeble
pill.
skills are no match for the power of the dark side.
I guess we need to pray for him, Doc.
I think I'm going to be adding him to my prayer list.
If you will not be turned, you will be destroyed.
Good night, everybody.
Powerful Sith you will become.
Monica.
With Boogie's
Get you on the
training,
flip side.
Mersh and Royce training me, I will become
Powerful Sith you will become.
Yes, take
Are
the
you gonna
black pill.
take the black pill?
Yes, I'm in training. I'm in training.
Good night, you guys.
Okay, we'll
Good
see
night.
you on Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturday again.
Be here before you know it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can share if you'd like. If not, that's
And-
okay.
And enjoy the next few weeks, you guys. It's gonna be lit.
It is. Buckle up.
Have a good weekend. Rest of the weekend, I should say. It's now Sunday here in eastern part of the country. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
I didn't cuss too much. We discussed a lot.
I guess we'll have to pick up on the cut.
You gotta bump it up.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I don't give a fuck about it. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Phil's gonna load them all in at the end.
I geschmoigered her geflavored with my goodies.
He's got that one right in the tip of his finger.
I was gonna, but I ended up getting laid instead. I did googly that girl. I did googly that girl.
As always, send your hate mail to winningtv@protonmail.com. All hate mail to Doc Martin will be forwarded to the proper authorities.
Send it attention, Phil D'Angelo.
Don't forget the Boogie Stand Flag Contest. Create a Boogie Stand flag. Send it in to Boogie to win a spectacular prize.
reminds me of that Borat. Remember Borat, the movie?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many good clips in that.
Gahoogity schmulligan.
The one race he's running and he takes off his gun about 5 seconds before he shoots it, so the rest of them start, and then if they get close to him, he shoots them.